Now that we have set up this condition to check whether the message is outside of the operating hours, the next thing that we would like to do is to send a WhatsApp message if the contact were to reach out to us outside of the operating hours. Okay, so within this branch called outside of operating hours, we'll add another action called send WhatsApp. So click on this plus icon and search for send WhatsApp. Once you click on it, you can see that the action name is called the send WhatsApp and the recipient is to the contact. So this means that the system will send whatever message that you put over here to the contact that trigger this workflow. Now, the message that we like to send is something like this. Hi, thank you for reaching out. Our operating hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so sometimes we would like to personalize things a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, hi, contact first name. So to do that, we will select this tag icon, select it. You can see that there is an option called contact, and select first name. That's how you personalize the message, right? So once done, make sure that the advanced options, most of the time you don't have to touch the advanced options. You can keep it as sent immediately, right? So once you're done, just click on save. Now, at this stage, this is what happened, right? So when a contact replied to you or basically sends you a message, what happened is the system, it will check whether this contact last notified date is empty. If it is empty, it will allow this contact to enter this workflow. If it is not empty, the system will proceed to do the second check, and that is to see whether the last notified date is at least 24 hours away. So that's the first check. So let's assume that the contact has entered this workflow, meaning that it passed either one of these checks. The next thing that you need to do is to go through this if-else check. Within this if-else check, there is one branch. So this branch basically checks whether the message is outside of the operating hours. So within its operating hours, it will check whether this message is sent before 9 a.m. If it is sent before 9 a.m., it will be considered outside of operating hours. All right. Likewise, if the message is after 6 p.m., it will also be considered outside of operating hours. And if the message is, let's say it is 10 a.m., it means that the message is not before 9 a.m. and the message is not after 6 p.m. What happened is that the message will go to this else branch, and this else branch is this part, right? Let's assume that the message is actually outside of the operating hours. So if the message is outside of the operating hours, what happened is the system will move the contact to this branch outside of operating hours and send the WhatsApp message that contains this content. Right? So at this stage, this is what we have set up the workflow to behave. And once we are happy with the current setup, all we have to do is to click on save to save our current progress for the workflow.